all you can do is try to imagine and wonder what makes 4 adults agree that this is okay. That's the big question.
The 16 children rescued from the so-called House of Horrors in Vinton County are now safe, but even Ciders family members are raising questions about how this could have happened, and they have ideas about what was going on in the family.
All you can do is try to imagine and wonder what makes 4 adults agree that this is okay. That is the haunting question lingering over a secluded dead-end road in rural.
Latest on the children, the case, and the investigation. Those parents of the children, Gary Ciders Jr. and Elizabeth Ciders, remain in jail, charged with 16 counts of child endangering. They've pleaded not guilty to the charges. The grandmother of the children, Christina Lynn Ciders, has also pleaded not guilty to the same charges and remains behind bars. Gary Sr. is out of jail receiving treatment for a serious medical condition, and his competency
counts each of felony child endangering. But when brought before a judge, Gary Jr., Elizabeth, and Christina Lynn Ciders all entered firm pleas of not guilty. They refused to admit to the horrors alleged inside that home, remaining behind bars on high bail they could not post. Meanwhile, Gary Sr. was released from jail, but only to receive immediate treatment for a serious deteriorating medical condition, leaving his legal competency under intense evaluation by the state. The community was left reeling, paralyzed by a single confounding question. How could an entire generation of children from a single family exist without a single school official, neighbor, or distant relative raising the alarm? The answer, as investigators would soon discover, lay in a calculated, multi-year game of cat and mouse played across the state of Ohio. This house of horrors did not manifest overnight. It was the result of a deliberate pattern of evasion that began years earlier in
its job. There's also new information coming to light about other homes where the Ciders had lived. I told you earlier this week that the Ciders lived in this house in Gallia County when the school district filed complaints about 6 of the oldest children not attending school in the fall of 2021. Those children were considered habitually truant by the school district and were in danger of being deemed unruly children under the law. The case never proceeded because the courts couldn't find Elizabeth and Gary to serve them with the paperwork.
Every time authorities drew close, the family packed up their lives and vanished into the night. A contractor who later went in to rehab one of their abandoned homes in Cheshire, Ohio.
A man rehabbing that house in Cheshire actually told ABC6 News in Columbus that the house was in bad shape. He told the outlet that he found a lot of kids' clothes in the attic, as if someone was living in it, and the entire house had
described the chilling aftermath of their sudden departure. The house was left in catastrophic shape. Inside the dark attic, he stumbled upon piles of children's clothes, suggesting that multiple kids had been living hidden away in the roof. Worse, the entire house was covered from floor to ceiling in urine and both human and animal feces. The family was living in filth, leaving a trail of environmental hazard behind them as they fled from county to county, moving from Gallia to Jackson, then to Pike, before finally nesting in the seclusion of Vinton County over 3 years ago. By moving to a dead-end road in an incredibly small county with limited resources, the Ciders family successfully vanished. They built a literal wall of isolation. The nearest neighbor on the road reported that they never recalled seeing a single child on the property. To maintain this total invisibility, the adults strictly controlled when and how the family interacted with the outside world. Workers at a local hardware store recalled seeing Gary Jr. exactly once, more than a year prior, just to buy some plumbing supplies. Other than that, the family was ghost-like. When they needed groceries or supplies, they did not shop during the day. Employees at the local Dollar General revealed that the parent...
One family member wrote on Facebook, "First, I am the niece of Gary Sr. and Lynn Ciders. Yes, I love my uncle and aunt. I was raised up knowing them as clean, respectful, and lovable people. I know the 3 oldest girls. I know of Gary Jr., but I really don't know them too. I can remember going to their house. It would be clean, and I can remember smelling lavender. Yes, there were toys on the floor, but it wasn't dirty. My aunt and uncle would not harm a child in their right state of mind. I haven't seen them for over 6 years, and I feel really bad because maybe I could have reached out and maybe tried to help them. Those babies didn't deserve none of this, but my heart is telling me that my aunt and uncle's health was deteriorating from cancer, strokes, and dementia. Please remember, God is with us all, and he knows the truth. I believe in my heart that Gary Jr. was abusive to them. Please leave the family alone. Let the court do it.
Lavender. But she had not seen them in over 6 years. She notes that while the grandparents' health was heavily deteriorating from cancer, strokes, and dementia, she believed in her heart that Gary Jr. was the one driving the abuse, using the cover of his parents' failing health to control the homestead. But the mystery deepens when you look at the financial trail. How does an unemployed family feed, clothe, and sustain 16 children without earning a traditional income? This is where state investigators hit a massive roadblock. Vinton County Prosecutor William Archer confirmed that the state was only aware of the grandparents receiving standard government Social Security benefits. There was no record of Gary Jr. or Elizabeth receiving state assistance.
Prosecutor William Archer said during a press conference last week that he was only aware of the grandparents receiving government benefits. Now, I've been asking the question, were Elizabeth and Gary Jr. receiving state benefits like food stamps or other public